Collaborations in heavy music are becoming popular again. That's a good thing. New music and seeing creative bands and artists working together to produce something unique, even if just one song, can lead to big music and amazing moments live. As time goes on, there is proof that collaborations can work. I'm glad bands, artists, labels, networks, they're all seeing the benefits of collaborations big and small. So in a follow-up to what I thought were the best collaborations in rock, this video is going to look at 10 more great rock and metal collaborations. This video is not a top 10, no ranking, just a list. The link to the previous video I made back in 2019 is in the description. There are clearly way more than 10 I could list also, so if you have a good suggestion, leave a comment with the link and let everyone know what you think is a great collab.
This video is sponsored by Factor. Let's face it, scrounging through the fridge for food and relying on stale leftovers sucks. Even if you have the ingredients, you most likely don't have 30 minutes to an hour to dedicate to staying in the kitchen for a meal that takes less than 5 minutes to eat. That's where Factor comes in. Shipped to your door in safe packaging, Factor eliminates prep time and all the effort spent in the kitchen, along with saving the time of cleaning up the mess after. Speaking from personal experience, Factor has helped with my schedule and my diet, as the options are faster and healthier than any fast food or delivery, as well as being an easy option for food that you actually want to eat. Meal plans range from 4 to 18 weeks, and you can add or reduce the number depending on your specific needs. You can easily modify food preferences, customize your choices, and skip a week if needed. That way you can use Factor at your own pace without worrying about unexpected orders. New subscribers can get a huge discount to kickstart your Factor experience as well. Get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your second Factor box using my link in the video description. Stop relying on fast food and bad leftovers. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code with your phone to get your eating habits back on track with Factor.
Thank you for checking this out. You know how these videos work. Let's get to it. David Bowie mastered the art of collaborations by the 90s. I mean, he was arguably in the best collaboration previously with Under Pressure and Clean. But on a different playing field, he teamed up with Trent Reznor and remade I'm Afraid of Americans to become an industrialized David Bowie, which sounded awesome. The I'm Afraid of Americans 9 Inch Nails version 1 edit is what I'm mainly referring to. The original song was made to be used on the movie Showgirls. That sounds like a joke, but it's not. After some time and a new friendship between Bowie and Reznor bloomed, getting that 9 Inch Nails influence on Bowie's music was pretty easy. The David Bowie and 9 Inch Nails tour was a success, they would perform together, and this song was remade with biting synth work and fuzz to really help dystopian messages of being afraid of Americans. This was the time in the 90s where Americans weren't even that scary to the British people either. This track is great and an underrated cut for Bowie, as well as having a music video of scared David Bowie running away from scary American Trent Reznor. See, now if Trent Reznor was chasing after someone, everyone would probably just embrace him. He's not as scary after the Pixar movies. Keeping heavy for a long overdue collaboration that made sense as soon as it was announced. Korn had been going steady for decades up to 2016, and Corey Taylor had been synonymous with rock and metal, so Jonathan Davis and company asked Corey to be a part of a song on Serenity of Suffering, which was impossible to turn down. What I enjoy about A Different World is the hypnotic side of Korn not going for full volume and anger. Korn dropped low and set the mood, and then Corey came in and brought more than enough rage and force to layer the perfect shout over the tone. Under 3.5 minutes to give a full build and payoff that can rattle anyone. A Different World having that added voice contrast from Davis also makes the song stand out greatly from Korn's massive catalog. As a positive, it stands out in a sinister way both on Serenity of Suffering as well as 25 plus years of Korn. Corey Taylor's unique register helps with all this. Collaborations definitely add a breath of fresh air to a band's sound, even just for one song. I also hope that one day we get a scat off between Davis and Taylor, and it's as over the top and ridiculous as I envision it in my head. It would be them just making goofy faces at each other while loudly scatting. It'd be perfect. In 2008, the return of Alice in Chains was a massive moment in rock history and ended with the title track about pain and healing with an incredible album finale. How does that get bigger? By getting Sir Elton John on the piano. Alice in Chains and Elton John may not sound like they belong, but it was a perfect moment for the band. There was already going to be a lot of skepticism with the return of Alice in Chains and William Duvall, but many did not expect a surprise performance to help close out the new chapter. Black Gives Way to Blue is all about healing and moving on, and Sir Elton banging away on the piano while Jerry Cantrell and William Duvall sing about curtains being drawn is a big moment. Cantrell told the story about how he was physically ill when trying to write the title track, and once it was finished, he instantly felt better. The physical representation of catharsis through music. It's also fitting as Lane Staley's first concert was Elton John, so the Rocket Man sending Staley on is quite poetic. Alice in Chains was never one to shy away from the pain, and that continued with the later generation of the group. Getting Elton John and Hercules wanting to be a part of it is also a massive boon for rock and for something meaningful, even if incredibly sad. Okay, now you're all too sad. Let's move on. Symphonic metal relies on amazing vocalists in the front, so why not have two singers to make a song stand out? Within Temptation has had plenty of collaborations over the years, but when they worked with former Nightwish singer Tarja, they hit metal paradise with the sound and what became an amazing staple for the group. I always felt that Paradise is the track to play for anyone who did not know who Within Temptation was. Everything from both Sharon and Tarja singing to the big guitar bridges to the swelling chorus, it's a perfect example of how much fun symphonic metal can be while introducing you to stars of the subgenre. The song is well over 5 minutes and every second is warranted and builds off each other. The music video also gives a big post-apocalyptic story to help flesh it all out. The delivery was everything, and Within Temptation and Tarja definitely delivered on this. It still holds up 10 years later. This is a great example of a collaboration that's too easy to ignore when it comes to synth metal as well. The song actually charted on the Billboard Top 200 in 2013. Do you know how impossible that feat is in 2013 for a symphonic metal band to chart? Especially from a European band? That alone makes this collaboration stand out. Bring Me the Horizon have learned the art of collaborations over the past few years and are running with the idea. The Post-Human series started with big name collaborations and appears to continue with that trend this year. One of the biggest moments that came out of nowhere in 2020 would be with Babymetal for Kingslayer. Babymetal haters and Bring Me the Horizon haters lost their collective minds when this song was released, and I hope they also lost sleep that night because Kingslayer was great and many enjoyed it. It's the perfect contrast of Ali Sykes screaming and at times modded vocals dropped low with the ultra cute Babymetal balancing out the tone in the chorus. The song has been performed live at festivals over the past few years, as recent as Sick New World 24, which was a great surprise for the Vegas crowd. Making collaboration work live over the years is also a huge feat, and both groups pull off Kingslayer great when sharing a stage. Fun fact, this song idea and plan was thought out when Ali Sykes was sitting around on tour playing Call of Duty one night. Apparently, endless Call of Duty sessions can lead to something productive eventually. Rather, it's proof that something good can happen. So one great song and endless bros making hate speeches in chat. Point is, Bring Me the Horizon and Babymetal did something good. I could have made the entry of the entire album for Blood Moon 1, but I'll keep it to a song just so people don't complain. Converge and Chelsea Wolfe is the dark arts dream collaboration I never would have thought of before 2021, but love the experience and atmosphere both parties brought. Unexpected collaborations can be brilliant. Title Track is a great example of an album and what to expect with this team up. Converge deserves so much more credit for everything that's done, but joining forces with Chelsea Wolfe is a stroke of genius. It's beyond haunting and ventures into dooming territory while sticking to both Converge and Wolfe's strengths. The guitar work, the screaming, the brooding build-up and payoff, Blood Moon has it all. The unexpected team-ups are always great, but when it's a full album and touring together and all parties involved jump in head first, the results can be that much bigger and better. If you enjoy the title track, you'll love Blood Moon the album, and if you like Converge or Chelsea Wolfe respectively, you'll love Blood Moon. If you liked being creeped out a little while listening to heavy music and afraid of everything, you'll love Blood Moon especially. The most current entry on the list, and one that capitalized on two popular names and timing to give both fan groups what they wanted. Poppy had already been doing collaborations with bands and artists, but Bad Omens working with Poppy to create Violence Against Nature was the slight swerve no one saw coming. The notable feature is that Bad Omens singer Noah Sebastian took a back seat while the rest of Bad Omens performed and Poppy sang. It's rare to find a band frontman willing to sit back and only give a bark during the drop, but Sebastian was willing. Poppy had enough charisma and presence to handle it up front, as always, so no problem with Noah sitting back, really. This is also proof that collaborations can be a huge boon for heavy music if done right, and through making a unique song, not just a guest featured verse and that's it. It's a complete collaboration that took a chance on the layout and it paid off making everyone look good. It can be heavy without Poppy screaming her head off in the chorus, the groove is thick, and this shows metalcore and other subgenres within metal can find success working together. Also, the footage of the song performed live is great because Noah Sebastian will just sit in the back and make a noise. Collaborations don't have to be overly complicated. Hand off the mic for a verse, help with the chorus, have fun doing it. Volbeat and Neil Fallon of Clutch understood that. Die to Live is a 3-minute blast, and hearing that gravelly voice of Fallon with Volbeat is an awesome rockabilly sequence you normally would not hear through Clutch. I love when two metal bands normally not associated through sound can make it all work. Really well, too, by bringing a musician over. Volbeat is known for pretty much the same style on everything and do it well, but Neil Fallon is not the big rockabilly vocalist. Turns out, if the background is there, he can fit right in. Both Paulson and Fallon are awesome and go well with the dueling saxophone and piano. The speed and back and forth between both singers near the end is flawless. Quick collaboration that's fun to hear and points out a singer in a different sounding band. Also, we need more saxophone and heavy music ASAP. Fun song with two singers that sound nothing alike and make them work perfectly. That's how a collaboration should work. I also like Volbeat and Clutch, so I'm a little bit biased, especially with Clutch, as Clutch really does not get enough love for how much they've done for so many years. One of the most well-known collaborations that also combined genres from two of the biggest names at the time. After Meteora came out and closed with the all-timer Linkin Park great Numb, Jay-Z had more than enough with Encore. Instead of remixing the two, both parties decided to make it work together. Whether you want to call it a remix or remake or whatever, it still counts as an amazing collaboration and capitalized on the popularity of both names and songs in 2004. And these were the particular songs that already charted and succeeded. It's the peanut butter and chocolate separate that people love, so put them together and see how well it works. Numb Encore hit with perfect timing as it continued the shelf life of both parties' most recent albums, Meteora and the Black Album. It solidified Jay-Z's superstar status as well as kept Linkin Park on top of the rock mountain with only 2 full albums under the group's collective belt. I think collaborations like what Jay-Z and Linkin Park created could work in today's music world if the right songs and artists are chosen. There are plenty of bad remakes and collaborations from names that don't mesh well, but Linkin Park and Jay-Z found lightning in a bottle with their creation. Proof that it can happen even in different genres. Ending with one of my personal favorites and a great pivot to a collaboration when Pink Floyd was in dire straits. During their tumultuous recording process of Wish You Were Here, and wow is that putting it lightly, instead of relying on strained vocals or an uncomfortable singer, Pink Floyd got another great musician to join them. When Roger Waters was unable to record the vocals as planned, the result of bringing in Roy Harper to sing and give a different voice to that sleazy music industry rep made the story of Wish You Were Here come that much more alive. Pink Floyd made an amazing song and Roy Harper was a part of a masterpiece. I don't think having Roger or even David Gilmour sing Have a Cigar would have had as much of an impact when compared to Harper standing out the way he did on Wish You Were Here. It's that swagger-filled performance from Roy Harper that gives the perfect delivery of which one's Pink. This is one of my favorite songs on one of my favorite albums. I made a whole separate video on that, you can find it in the description. Have a Cigar is that unexpected breath of fresh air on an album that makes the story continue to come to life through a collaboration. The playing, the performance, the writing, this is peak Pink Floyd and Roy Harper. I want big name collaborations to continue for heavy music, especially when artists outside of rock and metal work with names and bands inside the genres to help give rock and metal a boost. That's the fast track to making new fans, along with getting your name out there to a new audience. There are many great collaboration ideas out there. I hope heavy music fans can continue embracing the idea that artists can work together despite what predefined lane the elitists and genre definers put everyone. More often than not, it won't matter what genre or subgenre bands are in, including collaborations. If the music is good, most people won't care about the subgenre.